Welcome back to JJ's Productions, and we've got another Hitman escalation. This time we're in Sapienza and we're taking out Francesca de Santis and Silvio Caruso. We've got a set of kill conditions as usual with roulettes. We've got to kill Francesca as a priest with an old axe, and we've got to kill Silvio Caruso with a circumcision knife as a street performer. I'll be honest, this one wasn't that difficult to actually commit the executions. It was slightly difficult getting the required weapons and disguises, so without further ado, let's get into it. So we're starting off undercover in the mansion garden. That's a straightaway tick for the objectives. And what we're going to do is we're going to set up the Silvio kill. Now, there were one or two ways you can do this, but the way I preferred was getting the VHS from up in the observatory, and then you can just use it to get rid of his bodyguards and he'll be on his own. The reason that I go for this now rather than going for it a little bit later on is I want to wait for the chef, the head chef, to come around this little area, and I'm going to take his disguise. It's the best way to poison the street performer, because I'm sure if any of you have actually had to use this disguise before, he's very hard to isolate, and emetic poison is really the only way I've found to do it, at least on console, where I don't believe coin tricks work as well as say on PC. So that's the way I've gone about it. Right on time though, the chef's here, so I'll just get behind him and subdue him. It's perfect timing really at this point, you can't ask for much better. We drag him in the crate and we're going to take his disguise. At this point, when I was doing practice runs, I wasn't sure if it was best to try and stall the street performer now or go straight for him. When I tried stalling him, I just stood where the crate is and actually took a pot shot at him. And it did actually have a good effect. I was using it for a while, where there'd be a bit of chaos, you'd have bodyguards coming up here and investigating where the shot had come from. But the trouble is it stalled everything else, so it's a tactic I liked, but I couldn't actually get it to work well. So if anyone does find a way to use that and it gets a better time than what I've done, let me know how you did it, because I do believe it's an idea. I've just not actually been able to use it myself. As you can see, he's already sipping his drink, and even though it looks like a plastic bottle, you can't interrupt him because the plastic bottle will break like glass. So you just have to wait through this animation where he's just taking a few sips, then you can poison it. I had to get the chef's disguise as well for this reason, because as you probably know, it's one of the few disguises where you can poison a drink. So at this point I've got a debate in my mind. Do I go for the priest's outfit or do I try and get the old axe first? There's not much difference. So at this point I go for the priest's disguise, and I actually think it works out well as far as timing goes. As I said at the start of the video, this roulette isn't that great because you've got to spend more time getting disguises and weapons rather than actually plotting out to kill the target. The two kills are relatively simple, and this is just part of it where I'm getting the priest disguise, I'm also taking out the surveillance, and really I get the disguise now, but I've got no intention of using it now. The only reason I've put it on is so that I can go nearer to where the mansion is and change disguises again. That way I can just change back into the priest disguise and then I can commit the kill. There's a lot of back and forth, which is annoying because I go through the store about 3 or 4 times, all just to get rid of a disguise or to get rid of a weapon. It'd be so much better if there was more than one of each of these two disguises, but unfortunately you do have to drag them from around the church and around the main arbour area. It'd be much better if it was something else, but that's the roulette. I can't do anything about it. The reason I come up here is there's a security guard or a mansion security outfit, and I knew this disguise would come in handy just for 2 reasons. One, I can carry the old axe with it, which is fantastic because if not I'd have to get a bodyguard disguise, which whilst possible it's not easy to carry the old axe around the church area because there are more enforcers there. Also, it does mean that when I'm going back later for the priest disguise, I can just go on my way with it. I don't have to go looking for it, it's right in my path. So again, it's a very good bit of fortune that there's one right there. At this point, the street performer's already had another sip of his drink, so the emetic poison's working. I've got about a minute or so while that's working, so there is a bit of a rush going on now. I'm picking up the bricks for later on. I probably only need one, but I can't pick up the two just in case. The old axe is in here. I actually find it strange there's only one of these in the map, so it took me a while to find this when I had the conditions. I did have to use online to find it, I will admit. That was Hitman Maps I used, so good website. So I would like to know if it's possible to use remote breaching charges to get it across the map as the priest. I wouldn't even try it because I just know I'm not that good at these techniques, but I have seen people do it before and I do believe you could do it. I just don't know exactly where to place the breaching charges. So if you've seen that somewhere, props to you. I'd love to see a video of it. But the mansion security disguise, that did the job I wanted. It got the axe in this little building, so I'm happy. I've got a very strange reason for dragging this body all the way up the stairs, and it's when I was doing the practice runs where I was shooting the street performer, an after effect sometimes was that you'd have NPCs wandering up here, and even though this wasn't the practice run obviously, I think I'd still got it in my head that I needed to be aware of that. So yeah, you don't have to hide the body, but it maybe hide it up the stairs a little bit so no on-looking NPCs might see it through a window, but you don't need to go much further than that. So what I'm doing now, I've got the street performer disguise on, and I'm going to swap it straight away for the priest disguise. The reason being, if I commit the kill as the street performer first, I'm going to have guards outside the observatory room. That means it's harder to get to Francesca. So I'd rather get Francesca first, then I don't have to worry about those guards. From here on out, I have to be stealthy obviously because I've got the old axe in my hand, so it's pretty easy to get in the mansion. It's the same route as the normal silent assassin suit only run. You just have to be a little bit more careful because with the axe in your hand, it's just a little bit more sensitive with the suspicion. So we're going to just race through here. I was quite fortunate no one in the kitchen was looking my way, but do keep an eye out for them. Equally keep an eye out for the guard that's patrolling on the left there. Now we're going to go through the observatory. You can take the door that we passed. You'd have to lockpick it, but it all depends how quick you believe you can be. The bodyguard I was just referring to actually is in that hallway, so he's got his back to us. Just go and wait for him to move, just to be safe as I've got the axe in my hand. As soon as he's moving, as he is, we go upstairs. At this point of the actual playthrough, I was ahead of my time in that really I should have taken into account a wait whilst I was in the kitchen. Usually the chef who wears the purple shirt and is flipping something, he usually slows me down, which buys me time for Francesca. Unfortunately, he didn't stop me, so there's going to be a bit of a wait here, so I'm going fast forward. Okay, so be about 1 minute. Again, it's the same as Silent Assassin suit only. As soon as Francesca is looking forward at her desk, we're going to sneak behind her and we're just going to kill her with the axe. The bodyguard has to move first, and in this instance keep an eye out for his head because I was using instinct and I could see that he was still looking at me even as he was walking away, so just be wary of that. Sometimes he will look where he's going, sometimes he'll look at the door, so just be a little bit careful. As soon as he's moved away, step in the room and you've got a nice easy kill. At this point, what I do is I go into the inventory, grab the brick and throw it at him. The reason being, I want his disguise. I don't want to sneak out as a priest, so get a disguise and we can get to the next objective as quick as possible. So we're going to dump both bodies and then we can move on. For those of you who haven't noticed, this is a contract I've set up. It isn't the standard A World of Tomorrow level. Reason being, I didn't want to do the virus. The roulette doesn't set any conditions for the virus, or at least this one didn't. So I didn't see the point of going for the virus when all it is it just forces you down to the laboratory when the objective says exit by car. So maybe I was taking liberties, but the way I see it is it's a World of Tomorrow's level. It's Sapienza Day. If there is a disagreement over that, put it in the comments and we'll talk, but to be honest, I think I've done the conditions that I was given, so I'm not worried about that. As you've seen, I've put the VHS in, I've got the circumcision knife, so all I need is the disguise. Once again, I need to say there is a lot of back and forth. I would love to know if someone has done this faster, because if anything I would just love to see the route. As much as I enjoy playing Hitman, I do enjoy watching other people play Hitman, especially those who are much better than I am. So if you've seen it, or if you've got an idea of how someone else has done it, let me know, because I think even the best Hitman players get put off these types of roulettes just based on the fact that you have to go from one end of Sapienza to another. And as everyone knows, it's a big map, so I can understand people preferring not to do it if they want to do a speed run. But I am curious how fast it is possible to go, especially with that idea of breach charges. You know, it's little things, but I am curious anyway. So I've got the street performer disguise on, I'm back in the kitchen. Once again, I was fortunate that the purple shirt chef wasn't looking, and I was easily able to sneak around. That gave me also plenty of time to get to the observatory entrance and wait for Caruso to send his guards away. It takes about 10-20 seconds from here, so it's not too long. It is a silly thing to mention, but I'm a silly person as it turns out. Do not open that door, and if you do open that door, do not have the circumcision knife in your hand. I was just hiding there, I thought I was in cover, and it turns out that one of the guards either turns their head or Caruso himself can see you. You've got a weapon in your hand, and it was game over for me. So don't do what I did, just make sure that the door's shut, then you don't have to worry about cover. Anyway, he's turned his head. It's a nice easy kill from here, and you get the usual blood splatter which comes with this bit as well, unless you do fibre wire of course. So last things to do, just hide his body and then we can make for the exit. So from here, all I can do is say thank you for watching. If you've been watching my Hitman videos, thank you for continuing to watch. I know over the past couple of weeks I've been doing different types of videos, but as I've said before, I do want this channel to be a variety of things, but I always want to make room for Hitman, so thank you very much for coming back and for your patience with these videos. At the moment I'm sticking to the roulette because Colorado's still taking a bit of time to get planned out, but it is coming, so if you're waiting for Colorado Pro, it is on its way. I don't know what my next roulette is because I haven't drawn it, but I've got 7 days to do it, so that should be plenty of time. After that, all I've got left to say is, once again, thank you for watching, like and subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you again soon. This is Josh from JJ's Productions. Until next time, bye for now.